Good morning and welcome to the second day of the conference. This morning, according to our changed agenda, we start with the lightning talks, and the session will be chaired by Raj.
Good morning, everybody. And today we will start our day with the session of lightning talks, and I think it's very important for our community in order to share our ideas and in order to find some ways of new collaborations. And I kindly ask all the presenters to keep the time, 5 minutes per each presentation. And I invite Catherine Stover from GIANT to present her interesting talk about the role of the NRNs in the world. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Raj. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming in. My lightning talk today is a summary of many things that I've already said yesterday and what we've heard already yesterday. So let me take this opportunity to give you a 5-minute overview and run through of why I think that NRENs matters and why every country needs one. There are close to 130 NRENs around the world today. And now you may say, well, you know, quantity, does it really matter? And I say, yes, it does, because we have a critical mass now. Almost all of the countries in the world have an NREN or develop an NREN, and that in itself is a value. So if you don't have one of the reasons you should have one is because everybody else does. And all these NRENs self-identify as belonging to a group and are part of a bigger picture. Most NRENs actually go as far as to call themselves in very similar ways, and you can see here, everybody uses the REN in one way or another, or the net. And they associate very closely with each other and with the research and education communities that they support. There are NRENs in all of the continents. You've seen this map many times yesterday. But let me just explain that it only shows the regional interconnections from GIANT to the world, what I call our spaghetti map. A link landing from GIANT in Latin America, in what seems to be Sao Paulo in Brazil, it actually connects to the regional network in Latin America, Red Clara, and from there to 14 NRENs in Latin America, from Mexico in the north to Chile and Argentina down south. By connecting to GIANT, your NREN's connectivity has a global reach, and that global reach is secured for everybody here in the EARP Connect countries. Interconnected NRENs are the strength of the global fabric. Every NREN is just as strong as their partner and their neighbor NRENs are. And here we're back to the numbers. We need a lot of NRENs to have a strong fabric. And therefore it is important that NRENs closely collaborate with each other, share knowledge across borders and services to build together this strong regional and global backbone. NRENs offer global services. This is the map of EduRoam, and it shows you the global reach of EduRoam. I've been myself connected to EduRoam in Brazil and in Guatemala, in Senegal, in Zambia, in Uganda, across all of Europe, across all of Asia. I'm connected to EduRoam now. We love to EduRoam. And in actual fact, and this is really interesting, talking yesterday about what is the attraction to our community. We get today applications from students who want to work at GIANT as they want to work for the community that invented EduRoam. It is one of our most recognizable services, and we need more success stories that work globally, such as EduRoam. I personally hope that the next one will be EduVPN. NRENs support any sort of research, anything to do with education. The NREN capacity supports all activity in research institutions and universities around the world. This is our biggest strength, but also it is our weakness. When we argue the value of NRENs with our governments or funding organizations, we still need to dig out the concrete example, because saying we do it all is just too simple for governments and donor organizations. It's true, but it's not as powerful as the concrete example. This is why the inthefield.net exists. It highlights and showcases how NRENS supports specific research areas around the world and allow us to show our governments and funding organizations what it is exactly what NRENS do. In the Field helps us show that NRENS are an asset. They aggregate the RNE traffic within a country, technically support specific needs of the users. NRENS are operationally integrated enough to support the technical challenges globally. They offer services that the users actually need. They form the basis for all other e-infrastructures, as we've heard yesterday from Tiziana. They challenge the market when it comes to newly available technology and capacity. They have built successfully a model of global sharing of resources. This has been fine-tuned for over the last 20 years, and today cost-sharing ideas span the globe and allow for new connections even intercontinentally, as Erik Jan explained yesterday. And last not least, NRENS also serve their governments as independent barometers and experts of the telecommunications markets in their country. If your NREN tells you that the connectivity costs in your country are too high, that the costs of telecommunication services are unaffordable to research institutions and universities, governments need to listen, because it means your digital economy is not doing what it is promising. NRENS will be the first to spot your level of competitiveness in the global digital economy. If NRENS don't work, I swear, nothing else will work. And this is why governments and donors need to be in close dialogue with the NRENS. They are your partner towards the digital future. Make sure to talk. Thank you.
So, I invite Peter Lowe in order to present Open Source Geospatial Foundation, which is quite important to understand how we can share, process, and store the data.
All right. Good morning, everybody. It is a great pleasure to be here, being able to reach out to you. And it's also a great pleasure to be the second... I'm sorry. Okay, let's do that again. Hello, everybody. It's great being here, and it's also very great having the time slot after Catherine. So I can actually follow up on what the NRENS as a base infrastructure provide and what people have already made out of it. I'm going to talk about the OsGeo Foundation, which has become a global success story over the last 12 years, but in all honesty, the whole thing started much earlier with the advent of the World Wide Web for universities in Europe in about 94, 95. What you see there on the map is the global distribution of the elected members of the OsGeo organization, and this map reflects this historical development. You see dark areas in North America and Central Europe. That's because these were like the initial nodes, but the whole effort has spread out all over the world. OsGeo is an organization of volunteers in the field of geospatial software, open source software which is available for everybody. If one is interested to use such open source tools, there's no need to become a member of OsGeo. It's free for everybody. OsGeo is an organization, as I said, of volunteers, so people can participate never mind what kind of academic standing they have. If a professor wants to join, wonderful. If a student has something to say, all the better. It's really just like across cultures and across different walks of life. The project in 2006, this started as a global thing to give a means of quality for open source projects, because there are so many of these open source projects shifting around. So the idea is to have an umbrella to ensure quality and standards, to enable trust and enable recycling. On the map in the lower right, you see that Moldova currently has no elected member within OsGeo, but that does not mean that OsGeo is not active in Moldova. Actually, they are very active, especially in the field of open source open data management. That's the OSM, the OpenStreetMap project. We'll talk about that in a second. As I said, OsGeo is not for profit. It provides a spectrum of about 26 software projects, which are all interconnected and again, freely for use. If you're interested in what exactly these tools can do, please talk to me later. The concept of open science emerged in 2011. OsGeo was already around in 2006, so a while earlier, and actually some of the projects predate the internet and go back for 30 years. So there's a lot of hands-on experience on how to make open science fair, the FAIR principles, a reality. So we had that, so it's ingrained in OsGeo. Skip that. The interesting thing is the organization is, until now, had just a global level and national level. Right now we have 24 local national chapters. New chapters are popping up every year, and the nice thing is, on the national level, we have many conferences. The blue arrows depict just the conference within Europe last year. The red arrow stands also for a pan-European conference. I would really like to invite all of you and also the GEONT community to also become more active in this field of application and actually make these people aware like what a key infrastructure internet connectivity is. Now, the new thing of last year is the OsGeo organization had no means to talk to Brussels to really address the European Union. So a new chapter, a new sub-organization was shaped, which consists, and this is important, not just of Europeans. Everybody can participate in that and can help to shape that. So this is also reach out to the local community here for the Eastern Partnership countries also to become more active in that. It is important because OsGeo thrives on the research infrastructures, but it also reaches out into business world. It enables small companies to start up and actually people make a living from that. So it really works. How am I doing time-wise? Okay, almost there. Thank you. What I really want to say is the global conference of OsGeo will happen next year in Bucharest. It's called the FOSS4G conference, and I really would like to invite you all to attend. If you want to know more about also, some people from Moldova are also active in the organization. If you want to find out more about that, please talk to my colleague Vitaly. He sits over there, and he sports a T-shirt which almost looks like that. So that is that. Again, this is a community thing. It is only possible because we have deep internet connectivity. Otherwise, it wouldn't be feasible. And thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. So the next presenter is Maria Ristok from ENET. She will present the GEONT Cloud Framework. And I think we have a good balance, female, male, female, male.
The GEONT Infrastructure as a Service framework is a unique innovation project of Europe, pioneering cloud delivery as the first digital single market. Without this collaboration, it would not be possible to have such favorable terms and conditions and tailor-made offers for all these 36 participating national research and education networks and their users. There are more than 20 infrastructure as a solution, as a framework, infrastructure as a, exactly, infrastructure solutions in the framework. The IIS solutions offer highly scalable resources that can be adjusted on demand, that are ideal for academic research, which workloads are characterized as temporary, experimental, and subject of unexpected change. The IIS cloud platforms offer computing resources, networking, storage, but as well backup and disaster recovery and professional services. Consumption of the IIS framework takes place in 18 countries at the moment. So on the map you see most in the Western Europe. This is why we are here. There are more than 20 offers available from different original infrastructure providers, but as well from their resellers like Microsoft Azure and Amazon Web Services resellers. Giant has been gathering several use cases as good examples and inspiration for the community. The main benefits have included significant cost savings from the digital transformation of managing core infrastructures of institutions and moving the information systems to the clouds. One of the examples is Quality and Qualification Ireland that has benefited 33% cost reduction after transferring their Microsoft Azure workloads to the Giant framework. The other example of the cloud migration can be brought from the Netherlands. It's the In Holland University of Applied Sciences that migrated fully their data center to the clouds. This, of course, included training their staff and a lot of staff involvement in preparations and processes, meeting the needs of the users, like scientists, students, personnel, has played actually the key role in these decision processes. Instead of buying and managing hardware, these institutions can now focus on educational innovation and research. Main benefits of the framework have been saving time and money. Discounted prices are available for all institutions, large or small. The services are easy and safe to use. The call of agreements comply to EU data protection law. Invoicing is available instead of credit cards, which means that billing models have been designed specially to match the research and education institutions' financial structures. Scientists, lecturers, and students can log in using their institutional accounts. But besides of the benefits of the framework, there are also benefits doing it all together in the community. Giant Cloud Team offers different materials, video clips, user stories, but also instructions and guidelines. A lot of skills development, like workshops and trainings that we are going to have this afternoon as well here. In a collaboration with providers, Giant also offers test accounts, free trainings, but much, much more. Check out the Giant Cloud website with cloud catalog, news and guidelines, and also contacts of national networks and providers. Joint efforts pay off. We aggregate the demand of research and education institutions. We learn to understand the unique selling points of the offers. We find solutions to our concerns. Joining the forces, we learn together. We solve our problems together. saving time and effort of everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the interesting presentation. And now I invite Paolo from the Estonian Academy of Music to present the importance of the music communities.
Also this one? Thank you very much, and good morning, everybody, and thanks for the opportunity to be here with you today. I would like to share with you some consideration about creative community and music community especially. First of all, let me say that my field of everyday working is the field of education and the field of creativity. And specifically, I work in the field, in this cross-border area between art and technology. First of all, I would like to share with you some examples of music community. The first one, I think, is quite well known to you, is an example of a community that meet annually once a year and share experiences in the field of art and technology, and especially long-distance activities. The second one is a South American, originally, consortium is Anila Cultural Ring, and it is strongly connected with Latin European countries such as Spain and Portugal. And what they are dealing with mainly is education, they are, especially for primary schools and secondary schools. The third network is an academic network. It works in the field of education, of course, and mainly it focuses on the areas of north of Europe, and include also some African countries in this network. And the last one is a US network that mainly connects with Asia, and they are doing activity over the network with Asia. And one of the focus area of the last network is the to use the private network, but also to use the public network, and to stress the differences between the two. These are some examples. In my field nowadays, there are several hot topics, and surely one of them is the collective creativity. And the collective creativity, it is basically emerge from the collaboration and the contribution of many individuals, so that new forms of innovative and expressing art forms are produced collectively by individuals connected by the network. So it's a form of art that at the moment is highly on the top, on the focus. I would like to share with you a couple of examples. Michiko Saiki developed this work, The Voice of Women, and I think it was her dissertation at for her doctoral degree. And basically, her focus, it was to collaborate with the women composers that are living in countries where, from different continents, where the social life for women is not so easy. And she has been collaborating for a couple of years with this composer, and collectively they have been exactly, it was a process of collective creation. Another interesting example is Barbara Lunenburg from Bruckner University in Linz, and she has been working for 3 years with a really huge community all over the world. She basically create a dedicated website for that, and with the community she has been developing an artwork that after it became really a case of study. Nowadays there is also a book about this experience. And the last example I would like to share with you is the distributed performances of Tom Bayer from University of New York. Basically his specialty is to create performances over the network in different locations and also with different audience. That means that at the same time, there is one venue that is with audience, and part of the performance that is on the stage is also transmitted to a second location where there is additional performers and there is additional audience. And that can continue with 2-3 locations. About Tom Bayer, there is also another, he's also an educator, he works at university, and I think he was the first one some years ago to propose a subject at university in order to teach to the student how to use the technologies for long distance activities. I'm going towards the end. The last thing I want to mention is the regional development of music communities. I have 2 examples here. One is happening in Finland. 8 universities now are developing this project that is highly funded by the Minister of Learning and Higher Education. And these universities, they are 8 universities all over the country. And I want to share with you the motto of this initiative, that is from competition to cooperation. And the second example is taking place in Kenya, and it is based on the e-learning as a strategy for enhancing access to music education. And here I can voice a bit the needs of the community. And sustainability, what I mean with that, I mean the fact that these communities are really big, and they are extremely visible to the audience in the everyday life of people. The outcome of this community is very visible. And with that, I want to thank you very much.
Thank you, Paolo, for an interesting presentation. And now we will move from north to south, and George from Cyprus will present the academic third.
Good morning. First of all, I have to apologize for disturbing the order female male, but it's not my responsibility. So, I am George Konis, and I'm the Managing Director of SciNet, and today I'm going to present you how we achieved to establish an academic cybersecurity incident response team in Cyprus. Okay, this is not working. Maybe. Okay, it's fine. Let me say a few words about SciNet. SciNet is a small NREN. It's a Cyprus Research and Academic Network. It was founded back in May 2000, and our founding members is the Ministry of Finance of the Republic of Cyprus, and this is because the IT department of the government belongs to the Ministry of Finance, the University of Cyprus, which was the only university in Cyprus in 2000, and the Research Promotion Foundation, which is the body who gives the funding for the research in Cyprus. So as you can see, we have very advanced founders. Currently, and this is the important thing, all the private and public universities and research institutes in the Republic of Cyprus, around 20, are connected by SciNet to the ANT. You can notice that sometimes I'm using Cyprus and sometimes I'm using Republic of Cyprus. The only reason is that, as I think all of you know, Cyprus is a divided island, so we serve only the southern part. What is our main objective, according to our statute? Is to provide the infrastructure and its services exclusively to the educational and research community through our participation in programs funded by the European Union. However, the situation was not like that. Since 2013, all our operational services have been financed 100% by user subscriptions. That model was not feasible because our expenses were bigger than our income. And how SciNet is connected with the academic CSIRT? As in many countries, SciNet was assigned the creation and setting up of this academic CSERT, but there was no budget for that. So as you can imagine, the project did not progress. And we have to take into account that SciNet is a crucial infrastructure because it serves all the research and academic institution, and is also responsible for the Cyprus Internet Exchange, which means that we are very vulnerable to cyber attacks. So we were trying to find an alternative solution in order to have a funding to establish the academic CSERT. That's why we have submitted a proposal that was successful under the Connecting Europe Facility fund scheme. And along with our partner, the telecom regulator in the Republic of Cyprus, who is responsible for the national CSERT, we got this funding. What really means to establish an academic CSERT? Establishing an academic CSERT means that we have to develop tools for analysis, identification, detection of threats. All these tasks will be funded from this project. Running awareness campaign to capabilities development, performing maturity assessments. I think this is most important. Hiring training staff, training current staff, running joint training courses with Cyprus National CSERT, data compliance audit, but also, that's why I'm presenting today, it's participating in collaboration meetings and Europe-wide cybersecurity exercise. What is the biggest picture behind this Connecting Europe Facilities project? The concept is the exchange of knowledge and expertise in order to join forces to benefit the academic world. So our first step, we hope that we will become a member of the Forum of Incident Response Security Teams, entrusting interest affiliation, but also to expand our collaboration with other NRENs. I strongly believe that SciNet can be an example for other NRENs, and we have gained the necessary know-how to successfully apply for EU grants. And as everybody knows, the lack of funding is common among NRENs, especially for accreditation or to hire skilled personnel. Of course, we have collaboration through ZEANT, who is supporting us through meetings, but also through services like Fireware on Demand or NCSAR, and also transfer of knowledge. But I have to say that SciNet is open to collaboration with other institutions and NRENs, so as further develop our expertise on cybersecurity, as well as discuss and discover funding procedures and resources. For example, there is a call every 6 months under the Connecting Europe Facilities that the target is to fund collaboration among academic CSERTs. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for the interesting presentation. And I invite Fox Quintas from Germany to present the blockchain as a turnkey for fraud-proof video. Please.
Hello, and thank you that I have the opportunity to talk here a little bit about what we're doing right now. Last year we were working on the video of the conference in Minsk, and I was looking for a video for the intro drone video at Minsk, and I found one. But the problem was how to address the author to buy the rights of the video. So YouTube has there no solution. There were email addresses, but the author didn't answer. So I had to go to a less quality video where the author answered. So this is one of the pain points about video. Next thing is, video still credible? Because nowadays you have so many possibilities to manipulate video. the strongest thing is now deepfake, where you can make people things say they didn't say it. I have here an example I would like to show you.
We're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things. So, for instance, they could have me say things like, I don't know, Killmonger was right, or Ben Carson is in the sunken place, or, how about this, simply, President Trump is a total and complete dipshit. Now, you see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele. This is a dangerous time. Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet. It's a time when we need to rely on trusted news sources. It may sound basic, but how do we move forward? In the age of information is going to be the difference between whether we survive or whether we become some kind of fucked up dystopia. Thank you. Stay woke, bitches.
Yes, we saw that there must be done something to find a system to make media video more reliable. Come on. Okay. We found a solution in a big buzzword, the blockchain, which everybody talks about right now, and nobody knows exactly. It's a simple thing, basically. It's something like an Excel sheet where you connect every transaction block with another. It's been invented for processes where you hand it over like a node, where you notice every time somebody does something on a certain thing, on a certain process. So basically you have blocks, and in blocks you note everything what's been done or what is interesting about. What we now do, we implant this into hardware like this blockchain camera. How it works, we have inside of the camera, it also can be an audio recorder. We have a hardware built in where we record the time created, location, also a hardware token, and we take it together with a public key which is stored in the blockchain and generate a sign algorithm. The sign algorithm prints a pattern into the video, and all this is stored again into the blockchain. And then we have also things like the stream link, time created, location, author, the hardware token, usage, and a smart contract. Every time the video is modified, there's created a new block, and so you see it is modified. The pixel pattern we use there to make visible if the video is modified, it's slight changes in hue and brightness inside of the video, which you can't recognize by your eye, but if you know how the pattern was created, you can see when it's disappeared, somebody modified the video without using the blockchain connection, so you know it's a fraud video. The next thing is, with the blockchain we have the possibility to cut the middleman, like vendors of media, so we directly can merge it, make contracts between a user and an author. So the author puts the video into the internet, and you directly get the hint how the pricing is, how the rules are, how you can use the video. This is also an enabler to use decentralized storage. It means you don't have a YouTube, you have many private laptops or laptops in institutions which have free space, free calculation time, and they can be used as service for those media. One example for systems like this is livepeer.org, where you can be a member, and this could be a new YouTube without having one instance which owns almost all videos, because it's a real danger that YouTube has really the monopoly on all videos. Yes, this short in a nutshell. I'm already over my 5 minutes, so we have the possibility to get rid of fake news. We have a monitoring which is fraud-proof, and we can ensure a proof of ownership and authorship, and also we can easier monetize IP. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is Iqbal Safarov from Utrecht University, and he will present the role of institutions in the open data adaptation. Please.
Thank you very much. Before starting the presentation, I would like to thank some organizations, GEANT first, and Surfnet of the Netherlands for supporting me to conduct this research. And also I would like to thank all the people, close to 100 from 6 Eastern Partnership countries that shared their knowledge, insight, and information perspective with me to complete this study. And the basic idea is data. Everyone talks about data, and by the way, blockchain is also kind of data. So organizing data, and it's very nice to start off the blockchain. And why Eastern Partnership countries is very relevant set of developing countries to conduct open government data research. Because data idea is newly emerging, yet it is not realized. We don't see the real valorization of the open data idea. Even developed countries try to understand how we can get value from it. From this point, developing countries can get the momentum to use data to transform new digital economy or data economy. Those countries that we investigated have quite good electronic government development level. Actually, all of them are above the average of world indicator, e-government development index. And therefore, we expected that they have very good infrastructure, at least at developing country level, and started to understand their data ecosystem. From the nature, you know that there are many sources of data that we can collect. All kind of sensors allow us to collect data without the intervention of human, but in government, there are also hundreds of spaces that government can collect data, but all of them are anthropogen data sources and very depend on the human and organizational issues. When we started to understand what's going on in open data ecosystem in Eastern Partnership countries, we see the technical part. Particularly my interest is metadata governance part and sustainability, designing search tools, designing visualization tools, user-oriented focuses. And we see that that technical points are very much lacking in Eastern Partnership countries, despite the fact that they have quite a lot collected data and potential to collect data. Therefore, we turned more social part of the open data ecosystem, because those issues that are very important, we can find open source tools, we can find quite good knowledge about it, but organizational issues, institutional issues need to be solved before to go and discuss about, let's say, data standards, implementing metadata. And what was the institutional dimensions that we investigated about availability of strategy, policy of government, freedom of information legislation, Data Protection Act, if available open data law, because this is very new, even developed countries, majority of them don't have, but developing countries have very good point that they can introduce before developed countries, and NGOs and their involvement of open data activities, because open data is not only a technical issue or source for academic research, but it is also a source for civil society to control the public resources. And there are, among the 6 countries, 4 of them have open data portals, and except Armenia and Belarus don't have open data portal, single portal, but they also have some good initiatives that, let's say, statistics office share good knowledge information as a data machine readable format. And Ukraine, for example, have very good public procurement data sets. But all those initiatives have one common moment, that all of them are supported by foreign aid, which makes the project very vulnerable and very dedicated to the issue of citizen involvement. But we know that open data and data itself has more potential to realize, to get very good data-driven academic research, to make data-driven solutions, innovations. And from the analysis that I mentioned, I just generated one table that what is the performance in the region. It shows that it is not good. Let me criticize a little bit. It's not good, but there are some very strong hope that the countries that we are talking about have very good momentum to get real value from data for after 5-10 years of the economy, Industry 4.0, or we can call blockchain kind of innovations, or AI. And there is one very specific point of those data-driven innovations, that those innovations cannot be realized without economic scale. And we know that Eastern Partnership countries are very small to capture the economic scale. Therefore, they need to work together. They need to understand our data standards and merge their capacities to build those data storages. And before that, of course, there are many institutional problems need to be solved. Thank you very much. That's the end.
Thank you very much. And the final presentation will be done by Mikhail Modorenko from the host country, and he will present the Decom Network.
Gentlemen, my name is Mikhail Matsenko, and my light talk will be very short, because all advanced topics of this system will be shown on a workshop session. And let's start. Decom Network is an informational system that was planned and developed for medical and diagnostic institutions. It allows to collect, process, and visualize medical investigations. The system covers all workflow for processing and documentation of medical investigation, from collecting them from Decom equipment to archiving investigation in the patient medical record. And Decom Network offers all necessary functionality for quality medical management and secure investigation access in online mode. This helps doctors, specialists, and patients to access and save and document medical investigations, and help institutions to reduce investigation costs and enhance quality of service. This service provides several features. Is data collecting from Decom equipment, data archiving to archive investigations, and provide data access by a role-based mode for patients, medical doctors, and administrators. And last, it provides viewers for visualization of this data. First is Decom portal. It's a web portal that provides end-user access to the system through the web interface. We have three roles to access to this portal. It's patients, medical doctors, and administrators and users with limited time access. Second is Decom service that provides a service for collecting data from Decom equipment. It allows to save data in several storages. This service using DPAC's communication interface to retrieving data and PACS and REST API to send data to viewers and other parts of his system. For concurrent architecture is there. We have one portal and two servers in Institute of Emergency Care, one portal and one server in VCM, open Decom portal, and one Decom portal in Renam. For conclusion, I want to say that 7 medical equipment were connected to Decom Network. 16 doctors have access to this service. Over 200 investigation average collected by the system per day, and 500 doctors have access to their patients, and 2,000 times investigation were downloaded. And we have about 18% of data archived. Thank you for your attention.